Hey everyone, so as usual I have another Doctor Who review, this one of course being episode 6 of series 6, The Almost People. And as I've done with the rest of the videos in this series, I've sort of written down my notes chronologically, so I'll go through them. First of all, I just want to say, as I mentioned in the episode previous, I was like, good episode, but I didn't really want it to be a two-parter. I can now see why it was a two-parter and the significance in that, which I will obviously go into more detail at the end. And as usual, if you haven't seen the episode, this will contain spoilers, so don't watch until you've seen it. Okay, so first of all, when the Dr. Ganger was struggling with regeneration and he did the whole would you like a jelly baby thing, brilliant. I just thought that was a really good way to start and a really funny thing to get us sort of drawn in, and yeah. And then when he screamed, I was like, okay, that's one scary Ganger. The fact that there's two doctors, the first time I saw two doctors together was at the end of series 4 when we had the two Davids. Wow, two David Tennants, that was insane. So the fact that we have two Matts is really, really good. But it did get really confusing at times. And I never noticed until it was pointed out that they had different shoes on, so I couldn't even pay attention that way. So it did get kind of confusing, and I was like, which is the real doctor? Really quite annoying. The scene when it was the 5-year-old's birthday and both the, is his name Jimmy? Let me check this. Yes, Jimmy. When both the Jimmys were being emotional because it was their son's birthday, I actually cried at that point, and I don't normally cry for secondary characters, so that was quite a surprise and just a really nice little touch to bring out the emotion in the Ganger as well. Then we saw the eye patch woman in again, and I was like, okay, it was obvious she was going to be in this one. Who is she? What does she want? And even by the end of the episode, that's still not clear. When the doctor hurt Amy, I was like, get off her, lunatic, what are you doing? It was obviously, or at least at the time, we thought this was just the Ganger reacting to all these different emotions. You know, he's the most powerful man in the world, basically. So I thought that was why, but obviously later on, we find out more. When Jen asked Rory for help after we saw the Jen Ganger melt away, the first clue I got that this Jen was not actually the real Jen was when she used Rory's hand on the machine and it said human source recognized. That's the point when I thought she got Rory to do it because she isn't a human source, so it wouldn't recognize her. That's kind of what made me think, okay, this is going to go really wrong now. And then when the doctor found Jen dead, I was like, it just sort of confirmed what I thought. And then when Buzzer hit the doctor, I was like, oh, what are you doing? I don't care if it's the Dr. Ganger, it's still the doctor, do not hit him. Another bit I really loved was when everything was a way to blow up. When it was like, okay, everything's going to blow up, and then sparks started to fly, and he actually screamed, and then they ran. I just thought it was really cute, and just something I never saw the doctor do before, so I liked that. Also the prospect of an angry Rory, I really liked that, just because it gave us a different side to him. This is the scene after Amy and the doctor and everyone had been locked in that room and he was with the Gangers trying to get them to be reasonable. And he was being really angry and really demanding, and I liked that side of Rory, I did. The holocall with Jimmy, with little Adam from his son, was really emotional, and that's the bit that really got to me. And I like the fact that it played on the Gangers' heartstrings and kind of made them be the real people that they should be rather than just, you know, evil, because they're not evil. The only real evil one is Jen. I liked it when Jimmy said, you know, enough is enough. And then the Miranda Ganger did the same thing. And that's the point, because I initially liked Jen. Jen was the character I liked. Of course not Jen the Ganger, just the real Jen. But then after Miranda and Jimmy both said enough is enough, no more, and Jen was still being really evil, that's the point where my opinions of all the characters basically changed completely around. I actually started to like Miranda, both the Ganger and the real one. So that was quite a turning point. When Jimmy got attacked by the acid, the real Jimmy got attacked by the acid, and the Ganger came along and it was too late, and he was like, what do you want me to do? And he just went, be a dad. I did cry again. It was such a beautiful scene, really well done. And again, it just really showed how these Gangers have these emotions, but they're also toying with real people's lives. There's quite a lot to cope with. Oop, dropped my notes. A bit I really, really loved, and I probably loved it for all the wrong reasons, because it's probably a moment where you're supposed to be scared, and you're supposed to be like, oh, what's going to happen? Was the bit when the Jen Ganger transformed into that really weird thing with a really long neck, and she She kind of looked like whatever creature Lazarus turned into in the Lazarus experiment. That's the kind of physique she reminded me of. When the doctor was like, run, run, run! And nobody was running on his command apart from the third run. And I just thought it was really funny that nobody was listening to him. And it got to the stage where it was a case of, right, you know, it would have been right for, run for goodness sake, you know. I just thought it was really funny. I don't know if it was meant to be funny, but I liked it. I also loved the bit where the TARDIS fell through the roof. That was really unexpected. I don't know if I missed something at that point, if the Doctor had said something about that previously, but for me that was unexpected and I really liked it, and she just sort of, you know, plummeted down. I liked that. When we found out that the Ganger Doctor was actually the real Doctor all along and they switched shoes, I was like, okay, that kind of doesn't make any sense. And then it made me think, was that the real Doctor who hurt Amy and the real Doctor who lashed out at Amy? But then, actually, I'll add to that in a minute. So, was that the real Doctor who lashed out at Amy and the real Doctor who hurt Amy? And was it the real Doctor Amy said she'd seen the death? She said to the Doctor, I may have seen the real Doctor's death. But was that the real Doctor she said it to? Does the Doctor now know this, which is supposed to be a big secret? If it is, it makes me think of the Doctor in a totally new way. Why would he hurt Amy? But then we find out at the very end that the Amy hasn't actually been Amy the whole time. So was the real Doctor actually hurting Amy, or was he hurting a sort of Ganger type Amy? Since the real Amy we've been seeing for the past 6 episodes may not have actually been the real Amy the entire way through. Or has she been switched at some point, but was that still the real Amy in that episode? Obviously it wasn't. So what's been going on? A lot of people I've talked to about this have been highly confused. So, was it the real Doctor who now knows that he died? Was it the real Doctor who hurt Amy? Was it the real Amy he hurt? Was it the real Amy who saw the Doctor die? Or has the real Amy been switched at some other point? Why was she switched? How did she get switched? How would Rory not know she's been switched? How would Amy not know she's been switched? This answers no questions that we've had previously. And it opens up 1,000,001 new queries, which they're not really more. I don't have any new questions apart from the ones I've just said. They're not really questions. They're more of like, you know, I'm speechless. I really am. Obviously, when Amy went into labour at the very end, and the woman with the eye patch was really close to her, like, you know, closer than this, scary, crazy close. And it had the shot of sort of Amy's bump and looking downwards as if the baby was about to come out. The light that was shining really looked like a Dalek stalk. I really thought it was, until I saw the trailer for the next episode, but I genuinely thought it was a Dalek stalk looking at her. So I was like, oh, the Daleks are back. No. But it's really going to be quite interesting to see what that's like and what happens. And I want to know what she gives birth to, because it turns out to be a baby as far as the trailer's concerned, but then it's a weapon, not a baby, as far as we're told. But anyway, we have River back next week, which is brilliant. I'm so excited for that. You guys know I totally missed River when she left, so I cannot wait for Alex Kingston to come back. We have the Cybermen back, which is probably why the Doctor at the beginning of this episode was going, Cybermans. Like, no, Cybermen. But, yes, that's probably why. And there was a clip of Rory in the trailer. Was he in his Roman Autumn costume? Was he in the Roman costume in that clip? Or did it just look like it? Because that kind of confused me a bit. I have a feeling that this next episode still isn't going to answer any questions, or at least very few. Mainly because it's not the end of the series, it's a break from the series, which is devastating as hell. I have a feeling it's maybe going to answer one question out of the million we all have, but we'll have to wait to see. This was a really good episode, even though it's left me more confused than I've ever been in the entire history of the C21 Doctor Who. But please feel free to leave comments and let me know your thoughts on this. And if you have any new theories, all my theories I had totally gone out the window. No idea what's going to happen, which is a good thing, but we'll see. But that's it for just now, so I'll see you all next time. Bye!